I feel like it's extremely unfair when they're making fun of his celebration running off the field. Have you seen this? Have you seen why this has become an issue? Is this something that have you guys talked about this? Like what is happening behind the scenes?
No, I feel like that's more of a social media thing of people just nitpicking, and you got those guys that find every little gesture, movement, everything just to turn something into a meme or some type of viral post. You got people commenting on what their thoughts are. So I mean, that's just people being people on social media. We got the win. Hey, he's happy. It looked like the fans accepted it pretty well when he was going towards him. So I think that's just Caleb being Caleb, man. I mean, not gonna knock a man for the way he celebrates.
Good blocking on the perimeter, and that opens it up for Tyler Scott.
So as I predicted, the Bears have leveled up at 2-2, pretty much where all of you thought they were going to be. 2 wins at home. The Bears currently own the longest home winning streak in the NFL, 7 consecutive wins at home. It's an amazing time to be here. And I want to let everybody know, though, before we get started, that the world's largest sportsbook in Las Vegas is right at your fingertips in Illinois. The Circa Sports app is sports betting the way it should be. Bet anywhere in Illinois and experience high betting limits, better moneyline splits, more in-game betting, and the best customer service. Download your new bookie today. Visit circasports.com and start betting like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. And if someone has a problem with gambling, please call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234. Circasports.com. Get that started today. And let's get the show started. Let's bring in the man of the hour right now, Tyler Scott, who, listen, I noticed that the sun is shining in your house. Everywhere around Chicago, it feels a little bit brighter once the Bears leveled up to 2-2. How you living?
Living good. It's a good week. We're back. We're up to 500 now. Like I said, it was a beautiful morning today. Woke up, went outside. I was like, it's one of those days. So, it's a week starting off good.
Are you more apt to go out and be seen in places like Trader Joe's or Portillo's? You're like, hey, we're 2-2. We won a game. It's like you can go to Costco now and not have to worry about being heckled or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, man, we lost. I can't get my haircut this week. I ain't trying.
I would literally be like that. I'm not even joking. If one of my kids loses an AYSL game, I'm like, all right, we're not going out to Del Taco.
Yeah, we can't go anywhere. I can't get my haircut. No, we win. I'm like, oh yeah, I can go in there and get my haircut, whatever. Do what I need to do. So yeah, no, for sure.
Go out there and enjoy it. Which I'm not saying it because I'm not going to say enjoy it while you can, but I do think that, the Bears are starting to show we're starting to show a lot of improvement in a lot of areas coming out of that game. And I know the Rams had some injury concerns and stuff like that, but this is the NFL. You know what? You have to play the games that are in front of you. How did you feel about that one? Do you feel like the team is getting better every week?
Yeah, I do. I feel like part of the getting better, I think, is understanding who we want to be. Finding that identity, finding what works. Like I said last week, understanding that we're a new offense coming together with a whole bunch of new faces on the offensive side, both on the field and off the field on the staff. So just understanding how this thing gels. I think one thing that we can take away is just kind of looking at the pace of play. It looks like when we came out in the second half and just started kind of going maybe some no huddle and just kind of started getting a rhythm. Seemed like, that's, that was kind of our brand there. We started kind of rolling. Caleb started getting a rhythm. DeAndre Swift, started kind of getting a rhythm, rotating there, DeAndre and Roshan. So I feel like, we just started to get a little bit of a rhythm and just kind of feeling like we were just playing now. It was like, all right, we're not really necessarily playing, chess. We're just kind of playing our solid football and just kind of flowing. However the offense was going and however, the down and distance and we weren't making it too analytical, I would say.
Right. And obviously a lot was made out of the leadership council meeting that was had between some of the more senior members of the offense and offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. Was it uncomfortable last week or was it just kind of like, yeah, we needed to get this off our chest? Or was there like, oh geez, I'm going to hang out in the corner of the weight room or anything like that? What was the mood like after that happened?
Yeah, no hanging out in the corner of the weight room. But I mean, of course, you know when you're in a building and you have expectations and you're not where you want, the temperature starts to get a little hot. It starts to starts to boil a little bit. I think it was not necessarily more of an uncomfortable thing, but just like a thing that's like, man, this needs to happen. We need to have talks and set standards for what we're looking for moving forward. And so we're all grown men, and we all are in this thing together, and understand we have a job we want to do. So that's part of communicating. That's part of growing as an offense. And, in any great relationship, you got to be able to have tough conversations and to call people out, tell people about themselves and things of that nature, So I feel like that's just part of growing a relationship and just growing a genuine relationship within the team and, just to move forward.
I'm going to differ from a lot of Chicago Bears fans here, and I'm actually going to give credit to Shane Waldron. I know nobody wants to, and it's not in the nature of fans to be like, but you have to acknowledge, because some of the things that you said right here, talking about like the pace of play, I thought that was a big issue in Indianapolis. It was not it was great. Not only the no huddle, but I think being able to get to the line of scrimmage a lot quicker. I noticed that. Mm-hmm. Was that like a point of emphasis? Was that something like we need to get this done?
Yeah. No, getting to the line of scrimmage a lot faster. Just playing with more anticipation. You get to the line, a lot faster. That gives Caleb a chance to kind of see how the defense is setting up. That gets him in a rhythm. Like I said, he's coming from a college system as well. So, he's going to kind of like have things that he's still kind of comfortable with coming off of college that he hasn't necessarily adjusted to the NFL, so to speak, as far as just kind of how things are in the NFL. Like I said, you're having huddles and, you're saying a play audibly and then breaking the huddle and, things of that nature where, in college, it's, more so, hand signals and, just kind of looking towards the sideline and looking back. So things can be a lot faster. Everyone's already lined up at the line of scrimmage. Defense is kind of, already set up where they kind of want to, be set up. So that's different. And so for him, it's just understanding like, how can we put him in the best position to make things just a lot more comfortable, a lot smoother, for him to operate.
I will tell you, though, anybody who has any history with the Chicago Bears knows that there are times where it looks like we address some of the issues that are out there. I remember when David Montgomery was a part of the team, we'd be like, oh, we finally remember David Montgomery was on the team and he would run the ball 30 times. And then the following week, he would run the ball like 6 times. Is it feel like we're going to continue this trend? Because I'm giving Shane Waldron the benefit of the doubt. And I think that, and until he shows me otherwise, that he's going to continue to build off. Is that something that you're talking about going into this week? Like, hey, look at what we did last week against the Rams. Let's build on that, and let's continue to be diligent about how we're handling our business.
I think so. Actually, that's more of a conversation for up top. Just I think as a general sense, we do talk about like, all right, what worked. Okay, cool. And we can all kind of feel, all right, this is what, worked throughout the course of a game. And then once the game planning and those, things go down within, offensive staff, it's their job to put us in those positions again that, okay, man, we see these things that worked and we see the things that didn't work. Let's take this information and let's carry it on to the next. We usually end up talking about the next opponent, but just to kind of fast forward a little bit, like we looking at this next opponent with the Carolina Panthers, defensive coordinator came from basically the same tree with the Rams. And so with that, a lot of things can carry over as far as understanding the defensive structure, understanding what worked last week versus, a very similar structured defense. It's like, okay, we can take that and move on to the next week and say, okay, how can we build upon, what worked for us, for the following week.
Yeah, and I really liked seeing the way that the running back usage was distributed, using DeAndre Swift as a receiver out of the backfield, using Roshan Johnson. Your boy right there in some of the short yardage situations was nice to see. I want to talk, though, about 2 throws, and I think you'll know which ones I'm talking about. There was a dart to Cole Kmet, which might have been one of the best throws that I've seen this season, and then the touchdown pass to DJ Moore. Yes. When you go back and you see those plays, you go back and you're watching film, does it pop out? You're just like, wow, that was a great throw.
Yeah, especially the DJ Moore one. I mean, you look at he couldn't put it any better. You know what I'm saying? That was just great football by both, honestly, DJ and Caleb, as far as just DJ with the late hands. You had a defender running towards you who had no vision on the ball. The defender tried to put his hands up and try to make a distraction. So he really had no idea when to punch through. You know, they talk about punching through a triangle, and before, he could really even have a chance to make a play on the ball, it was too late because DJ had laid hands and just let the ball kind of just fall into his, his chest. But Caleb put the ball right on the dot to where he had an opportunity to do that, and he'd have to jump up too high where the guy could just push him out of bounds before he can get his feet down. It was just a perfect where DJ could, establish himself and just, put his hands here, and it fell right into the basket. So, I mean, that was just great football by both of those guys, and, it's very promising, moving forward.
It's one of those things that as a fan of the Chicago Bears, we have waited so long for a quarterback to be able to make throws like that or just see plays like that. Like I'm a fan of the sport. So I watch a lot of football games, and there are many times where I've seen a throw like that happen in the NFL. It has not happened in Chicago, maybe since the time of Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was an old-timey quarterback who played before, long time ago. You might not have ever, you might know him more from, you might know him more from reality TV than you do know as a youngster yourself. But it's exciting to see. And I feel like the chemistry between Caleb and DJ Moore is starting to grow a little bit. Does it feel like he's getting more comfortable with I've always admired Caleb's leadership, but does it feel like I feel like he's really growing into the position? I look at where he started at in week 1 and where he's at right now, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I feel really good about his progression.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we talked about that last week, just each week, him getting better, him getting more comfortable in the pocket, understanding what's happening out there, his receivers as well, whether that's making, checks at the line, things of that nature. The DJ Caleb connection continuing to grow each week, just even with their communication, even when they miss, coming off on the sideline, having those conversations right there, understanding like, all right, let me hop into your brain. What were you thinking? And vice versa. So I feel like, that's huge, moving forward. So when those opportunities do present themselves over the course of the season, some of those, ones that we miss end up being touchdowns or big plays.
Now, obviously, I always feel like he's in a no-win situation. Throws for 363, and you're like, but they lost. He throws for whatever it was, 150, and they win. You're like, but he didn't throw for – and I feel like he's in a no situation. I feel like it's extremely unfair when they're making fun of his celebration running off the field. Have you seen this? Have you seen why this has become an issue? Is this something that have you guys talked about this? Like what is happening behind the scenes?
No, I feel like that's more of a social media thing of people just nitpicking, and you got those guys that find every little gesture, movement, everything just to turn something into a meme or some type of viral post, and you got people commenting on what their thoughts are. So I mean, that's just people being people on social media. We got the win. Hey, he's happy. It looked like the fans accepted it pretty well when he was going towards them. So, I think that's just Caleb being Caleb, man. I mean, I'm not gonna knock a man for the way he celebrates.
I would never. I remember seeing him run off the field, and I didn't take any sort of negative thing. I would have never thought that it would have been memed in any stretch of the imagination. And all of a sudden, you get these accounts, and they're usually like the anonymous accounts from people who you don't know who Dov Kleinman is.
Right,
like nobody's ever seen this person. It's probably not even his real name. And he's like, why are you talking
They've got 50,000 likes.
Yeah. And people, you know what? I truly feel, and you see it a lot too, when people are so quick to victory lap over like some of the other quarterbacks, I think it's because they know. Like, I better get this in right now because it feels like a situation where at some point down the road, you're not going to have much room to talk. And I don't think that I think people kind of feel that way.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that's the case for sure. And like I said, moving forward, like I said, once this offense, clicks, we're going to be dangerous. I literally tell Rome every time we're on the sideline, I'm like, listen, we're going to get a turnover. At least one, probably two. I was like, it's going to happen. We're going to get a chance we're going to get the ball in great field position, or they're going to be in a position to score. The opposing offense is going to be in a position to score. We're going to get a turnover, a fumble, or interception. Yeah. And then we're going to come back. Anytime the game is, we're up and there's like 2 minutes left in the game and the opposing quarterback has the ball, I'm like, there's no way, especially in obvious passing situations. I'm like, I can pretty much call it every time. Like, Watch, I'm about to get a pick. I've called it probably, I think, 2 or 3 times this year where I'm like, Rome, watch this drive, or watch here. We got to get one, or we haven't got a turnover yet. I'm like, hey, we're due a turnover, so I'm like, we're good. We can relax. They'll get us a turnover. We'll get an opportunity to score. So yeah.
I felt that way with Kwani B, because I felt like that penalty that he got was kind of BS, especially with I should not be talking about the official. I actually got in trouble at the NFL Network for talking about the officiating. I might have mentioned this yesterday or last week, but it's true. It's like, listen, if you're going to sit there and let a team push a pile for 12 seconds after he was stopped, then if the guy's marginally on the sideline, I think Rome Odunze should be allowed to finish the play. Finish the play, because if he doesn't, and this guy does a quick pivot and runs down the sideline, then he's lampooned for you. Like, look at the presence of mind to not like. Well, what do you want him to do? And I know, but of course, if the situation was reversed and it was you, I'd be like, that son of a gun should be out of the league forever. So, like, listen, I'll understand that I'm very biased and very one-sided about that. But let's talk about the Carolina Panthers this week coming into town. Andy Dalton revenge game. The former Bears quarterback himself, Andy Dalton, he might have played for the Bengals or something. I don't remember. The Carolina Panthers have been playing a lot better ever since they made the switch at quarterback. What kind of things have you seen from them? I know it's early in the week. We record this on Tuesday, so I know you probably haven't implemented your full game plan. But outside of, I know you said the defensive coordinators are very different. But what do you think about the Carolina Panthers in general?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, just talking to different guys that know guys on the Carolina Panthers, is the fact that they feel like they have life. They got rid of their quarterback, but I mean, you look at the way they've been playing football. They've been in it now. they feel like they can compete now. So that's, when you're coming against a team that feels that way, like, you don't look at their record and say, oh, well, they're a completely different team right now than what their record is saying, or what was portrayed early on. So this is not something that you take lightly coming into a game like this. So I think that's the biggest thing. First and foremost, it's not going to be a cakewalk. Win the game and then boom, we're heading to London. Like, we have to hone in and like I said, we want to be on the plus side of being 500, and not fall below 500. So I think that's the first and foremost thing that that we're looking at as far as our mindset. Now, they did have some injuries this past week, I want to say.
Adam Thielen's
Adam Thielen. I just heard their 2 starting linebackers got hurt, which were vet guys. So those are kind of the anchors of the defense. So lost their 2 starting linebackers. So we'll probably see a change as far as defensive structure. And then I think secondary wise, I think they might have had one guy get injured, but you got a vet at nickel. Can't remember the guy's name, 13, but they have some veterans there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think overall though, they may not have the names necessarily, so to speak, but you can definitely see a team that's hungry and feel like they have life.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better over the last couple of weeks, and you're looking at some of the guys like Xavier Leggett on the offensive side of the football, who's getting an opportunity to go out there and shine. Like, that is, because I know we love to talk about sports trading cards with things like that. And speaking of sports trading cards, at Windy City Sports Cards, they specialize in buying and selling all things related to Chicago sports. Whether you're a diehard fan of the Bears, Bulls, Cubs, White Sox, Sky, or Blackhawks, they have got you covered with an extensive selection of sports memorabilia and collectibles. In addition to their Chicago focus items, they also offer a vast collection of sports trading cards and memorabilia from your favorite teams and players. So check out Windy City Sports Cards. By the way, we have a package to give away from Windy City Sports Cards. We appreciate everybody who's been logging in. There it is. The winner is grateful for today for inspirational story from this young man who's out there battling cancer, I believe it was. And so we're happy to, if we can brighten your day just a little bit, you're going to get a package from Windy City Sports Cards for you to enjoy. And we thank you for being a fan of the show and appreciate you, the support and everything like that. So good luck to you. Thank you so much for that. And but to go back to the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, what do you make of this? I feel like Bryce Young can still play at some point in this league. When you think about guys like Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, what they've been able to do, it's got to be too early to write off quarterbacks like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you look at the history of some guys that have gone through there lately, at least.
Two former Panthers quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold.
Yeah. I mean that's something that you may have your antenna up for. But if you like say, yeah, if you're a sports car collector, his price probably went down, and this is something that you probably want to hop on right now, get him now, and then I would think especially if you bench your quarterback this early, going into year two, early in the season, he's long term. You don't see him being there long term. I don't see that. I don't see you benching him and then okay, we're gonna pull you back. Yeah, I just don't see that happen. I feel like he's in a situation where they're probably going to end up trading him at some point, and trying to get some value or some sort. And if that's the case, then he gets a change of environment, and who knows, a change of environment, you may see a whole different player, because that sometimes, that works for a lot of players. It didn't work out in one place, get a change of environment, and now they're balling. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, what happens here in the near future, with him. But yeah.
Well, I mean, we saw this on Monday night with how great Jared Goff has been playing for the Detroit Lions. And and Sean McVay, had decided to move on from it. And you think if Sean McVay's giving up on somebody like he's got no chance, goes to Detroit, he's played the best football. I mean, if he wasn't perfect last night, he was damn near perfect. Throwing the ball all over the field. I know that Matthew Stafford really never struggled in Detroit, but he changed places, goes on and wins a Super Bowl. I look at Bryce. I look at Bryce Young now, and you're like, listen, I know that people rumor about Miami if they need a long-term solution or somebody to back up Tua Tagovailoa. I think just going to Miami where you wouldn't have to play right away. I mean, you would play right now because they need a quarterback at the moment. But with Tua Tagovailoa, you would get an opportunity, or even go to the Rams. I know this one gets talked about a lot. Going to the Rams, backing up Matthew Stafford, and then when he's eventually ready to retire, assuming the position and being the guy, because the Rams kind of kickstarted the rebirth of Baker Mayfield, who worked with Liam Cohen, who is now the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. So I think it'll be interesting, and I know it's because it worked out well for us with the trade. We get DJ Moore, we get all these picks. I mean, we ended up with Caleb Williams because of this and everything like that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this week. So I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's my prediction. I want you to be sitting down for this because I don't want you to be disappointed in me, but I have to let you know I have the Bears winning this one. I got the Bears winning this one. I truly believe.
I didn't see that one.
I know I'm changing it up a little. No, I'm hopeful. I went out here. I do a lot of shows around, and I keep talking about this situation. I'm hopeful that what we saw on Sunday is just the beginning of an offense that continues to grow and continues to get better. And you know what? We're going to see it. We're going to see it come to life this week against Tampa or against Carolina. Then we got the Jags in London. So there's a lot of good stuff going on.
A lot of great stuff.
Are you already packing for London? Please tell me you're not already packing for London.
No.
You better not be.
No,
I don't want to hear any of that stuff. You guys can go to Costco on Sunday night after the game. Go get your rain slickers and all. You've got the weather. You're built for this anyways. You live in Chicago. It's not like you don't have range. It's not like me going to London where I'd be like, I don't know where I can get a rain jacket. Remember when I was at Bears camp this summer and I'm like, I did not have a raincoat. I'm like, I forgot I'm in the Midwest. It's the middle of August. It's going to be, it's going to be, what's the American?
You don't know what it's going to be over here. You'll get all the 4 seasons in one sometimes.
Yeah, 100 days. In one day, you get all 4 seasons.
In one day, you can get all 4 seasons.
All right. Well, listen, I want to thank you for your time. And again, we always appreciate you coming on here, chopping it up a little bit, talking about the week that was. Tell Caleb, when you see him, tell him Rank says the celebration was good. I want that to become I want that to be a signature. Lean into it. Own it. Let that be. That's how it starts.
Lean into it.
If you ever see some of the dumb things that I do on the NFL Network, it comes from a throwaway moment that people like click into. And I'm like, all right, we'll make this a thing. Like just saying the word chill bra one time, then just started a segment for Patrick and I to go out there and make fools of ourselves.
Yeah. No, I'll make sure I'll let them know. I'll let them know for sure.
Okay. You let them know.
Before we go, I got a card for you today.
Oh, we're gonna do a card. I forgot. We got to do this every week. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I got a card for you today. So last week you mentioned I showed the Gear series. You mentioned the Dick Bucket, so I pulled out a Dick Bucket. So this is from the 1972 edition. So let me see if I can.
Oh my gosh.
I love this. I love this set, honestly. I got a couple, really good players from this set. But yeah, Dick Buckets, 1972. Once again, it is an original, people. It is not a reprint. It is an original. You can see it here. You can see all the markings. So yes, this is an original 1972 Topps Dick Buckets. So there you go.
Man, that is such a cool card. How did you get it? Did you just go to a sports card?
I don't remember. I've had this card since I was probably like 11 or 12.
Okay, so you've had this for years.
Yeah, I've had this one for years. So I can't even tell you when. I probably got at a card show, probably, but or maybe traded with somebody. But yeah, I've had this one for a while.
This is not something that you can fake. This is Tyler going back through his life and pulling out these sports. I gotta go back and start looking at some of my older cards because I know I got a bunch around here someplace. By the way, I forgot to mention Mantis sleep masks. I forgot. Sleeping easy with the Bears and the development of Caleb Williams with the Manta sleep mask, the only mask designed and optimized for the deepest possible sleep in any environment, 100% blackout for deeper sleep, infinitely adjustable for personalized fit, absolute comfort. Visit mantasleep.com and use the code SICKBEARS for 10% off. And by the way, these masks work so well. My son was kicking me in the back last night and I didn't notice. I'm like, what the? It wasn't until like 7 a.m. I finally was like waking up and I'm like, his leg was in my back, but I was sleeping so well with the Manta sleep mask. That's what you need. That's what you need to rest easy. And I'm resting easy with this offense in the capable hands of Caleb Williams. I'm in, Tyler. And I know that, listen, we appreciate all the work that you're coming in. You're doing. I know that your time is going to be there. The hard work shows itself.
No doubt.
I know that you, I know you believe that. And so we really appreciate you coming in here and talking about that. Good luck this week. Good things are going to happen. And we'll see you on the other side.
Yep, I'll see you, Adam.
All right. We'll see you later. There he goes. That's it for Tyler. I'm Adam. Sammy, play us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcast. Brought to you by Circa Sports Illinois.